Hello, friends. Welcome and namaste. We're going to look at standing splits today. Don't let it scare you too much. You don't have to go fully into the splits. We just do what we can with the body that we have. And then the one thing that I'll say is I'm going to try and do more of a 20-minute video, but it's really difficult to get into these bigger poses in 20 minutes, I think, right? If you want to really try to truly work them. That said, sometimes all we have is 20 minutes, right? 30 minutes. We'll see. We'll see. I might come in more at 30. So let's get moving. Have a block, have a strap, and have a blanket on standby. You will probably want all three of those today. And as you start to roll down, make sure you have your block and your strap near you from your back body. Find yourself in either Shavasana or constructive rest pose and tune in, right? I like to think of it, well, in many ways, but lately it's been thinking of it in two steps. One is I am just simply trying to take in sensory information, everything from the tip of my nose, right, to my toes, to, yeah, the low back, the shoulders. We always go to the same spots, right? Check into all the areas you can think of and notice sensation. Not easy necessarily, but simple. And then the second part of that is we start to take that information in and utilize it. I have a little bit of tenderness in my low back, so I need to be careful when I'm doing anything that involves my low back today. I'm feeling chronic pain here. I'm feeling tension. I wonder if I can soften those muscles so I'm not using energy to hold strain in my body. And then bring your awareness into your breath for just a few moments, a few breaths. And again, you don't have to change it immediately or make it be this breath or that breath, right? Just notice how you're breathing because that gives you a wealth of information, right? I won't break that down too much due to time, but the breath tells you just about everything you need to know about your nervous system, right? But then if you do want to go more towards that relaxed place, you would slow it down and smooth it out. If you're looking to build a little energy because you're feeling really like a lot of inertia, lethargy, things like that, you might go for a little bit, not for the whole class, right? A little bit up into your chest and make it a little shallower and quicker. Let's put our feet on the ground, all of us. Knees bent, feet as wide as the mat, TD arms out, and move in and out of windshield wiper. That's where we let our knees swipe right, center, left, center. Maybe add a little bit of breath work to that. And I'll always encourage you not to move too fast. That's usually when we don't really know what muscles are grabbing on, right? It's when we start to go into old patterns that might not be as beneficial. And then the next time you're over to the right, stay over to the right. Maybe put right foot on left thigh if that feels okay with your joints. Maybe turning head to the left. And then, like your body was made out of Laffy Taffy, from your left knee to your left shoulder, just let that taffy lengthen. Bring the right foot down, the knees back up. Let the knees move over to the left. Again, you can just hang out right there. That's fine. You might put left ankle on right knee-ish and then maybe turn head to the right. Anytime I say maybe, it's not dependent on what happens before it. You can add it in if it works for you. If it doesn't or doesn't feel beneficial, don't do it. Right? Laffy taffy from right knee to right shoulder. Left foot down, knees back up. Walk your feet back into hip distance. Go ahead and put the block between the thighs on the lowest setting. And if you're newer to me, just don't do it too fast or too hard, right? Remembering that as we move into the block, we're moving in really slowly, right? Slowly engaging and gently, only to maybe 12, maybe 20%, right? If you're someone who usually goes to 120, I'd say you're a 12% person for sure, a candidate. So from there, go ahead and put your hands on your thighs and do a push pull. I'm going to push my hands a little bit into my thighs. My thighs are going to pull back a little bit into my hands. and neither of them win or move. But what happens, hopefully you can feel that in your body, maybe not, right? As we start to find that low back in its natural curve, just a little bit off the floor, we're engaging some of the low back muscles, or hopefully engaging some of the corset, which runs around the entire body in that low belly, low back area. Take another breath. And then go ahead and release the hands. Leave the block where it is, but relieve the pressure for a moment. So you could do that again, right? You might go ahead and move into the block. Now I'm going to add on, pretend that you are, and you imagine that you are peeing and try to stop yourself from peeing midstream. That's the very center of the pelvic floor, the perineum, right? And then frontal hip points, let them move in towards each other. Those three pieces I want you to use through the rest of class. Every time I bring it in and say, turn on your core, those three pieces, right? So you could stay right here, put your hands on your thighs and do the push pull. You could also bring your legs up in a tabletop, which of course is more intense. Put your hands on your thighs and do the push pull. Hopefully you're already engaging your abdominals a little bit, your corset, but this might amplify that a little bit. Some of my friends are low ribs puff and flare up off the ground. Low ribs down, low back up. Low ribs down, low back up. Take another breath and then go ahead and grab the block while it's close to you. Release the feet back down. Bring the legs in, hug them in, and circle the legs away from one another. And if you went together first, that'd be fine. We're going there next. And then go ahead and go the other direction. Just let's wake up those big old busy, busy, busy joints. Go ahead and circle the knees together. Hopefully that's a little more sacrum low backy. Go ahead and go the other way. Hello, sacrum. Hello, low back, pelvis, all the business. How you doing today? Put the left foot down on the ground. Grab your strap. Put said strap around right ball mounds and push right heel up. Now, before you extend that left leg, right, we have a little more freedom with the pelvis when the knee is bent and we're not pulling on the pelvis. So find the low back coming up off the floor. You could imagine that you're doing the push-pull if that helps you find inner groin, adductors, pelvic floor, perineum as well, right, and the corset, transversus abdominis. Now from there, keep all of that and extend the left leg out to straight. Gentler version, you would leave your foot on the ground, not a big deal. Soft shoulders, tongue, and jaw and brow. Breathing into the hamstring. Now, I just want to point out, right, that if your hamstring's really tight or if you're further away from the body, if your knee has to be quite bent, you have short hamstrings. That's okay. That you're not a bad human. But today's work is going to be difficult. You're probably not going to do much of a split. So you need to have open hamstrings to do this version, right? If it's available, go ahead and pull the toes to the back of the room. But I want you to notice this. When you pull them back, does your low back flatten to the ground? And if it does, try to find the place before it flattens. Keep your low back up off the earth a little bit. Pull that right leg in, working towards straight the whole time, right? And now I want you to put your both straps in the left hand, right thumb in the hip crease. Push that right hip down towards the foot side of the mat. Take a breath there, wherever you're working from. And I want you to just kind of notice the shape of your splits at this point in time. It will probably change depending on our position of gravity and working the hamstrings over and over. While you're there and your right thumb is in your hip crease, move the right leg over to the left about, I don't know, 3 to 5 inches. You usually don't have to go very far. And if you're going really far over, I would say come back up, pull the toes towards the back of the mat rather than moving them all the way to the left. Hopefully that correlates to outer right hip and thigh opening, right? Come back to center. You're going to release the strap off of the foot, but re-extend the foot back up, arms by the side. Go ahead and flex and point your right foot and continue doing that. We're going to lower that leg on about an 8 count. You do your own 8 count. But what I want you to pay attention to is your adductors, your pelvic floor, and your low belly, your corset, right? And try not to let any of that shift, change, or move, stabilizing it, I could say, as you lower the leg down. And once you get there, feet can be on the ground or legs can extend, your choice. Take a breath or two and simply notice the body, especially that lower body. That's where we just did a lot of work. Both feet on the ground with the knees bent. Again, bear with me. I know you're going to want to extend the right leg probably, and I will get you there. I promise. Go ahead and put the strap around the ball mounds of the left foot and just simply push straight up more towards a 90 or even a little further away. We'll get to that other place, right? But before we do, I want you to imagine, right, that you had your hands on your thighs. You could even leave the strap for a second and do it, right? Do the push pull till you find the low belly. Low back a little off the floor, neutral, right? You can grab the strap again if you were working that and extend your right leg out to straight, flexing the foot, heel forward, all this stuff, right? Now, again, if you do go to that place, and don't go there right away, give the hamstring time to warm up, don't force it. You might pull the toes back a little bit, left toes back towards the head side of the mat. But again, I want you to really bring your mind's eye into your low back. Don't let your low back go down to the floor when you do that. Try to maintain your neutral, stable pelvis, the whole bottom core line turned on to support you. Both straps, right hand, left thumb, hip crease. Push hip forward and pull toes a little further back towards the back of the mat first, right? And again, just pay attention to your splits. If we do this on one leg later, which we're probably going to, right? Or maybe you're going to join me, that's where we're headed towards. Um, to assume that we have one foot that's going to face up to the sky while one is on the ground is kind of silly for most of us, right? So sorry. Maybe you move that left leg over to the right a little bit and back towards the head side of the mat. Breathe, IT band. Come back to center, release the strap, extend the leg, arms by the side. Go ahead and point and flex and point and flex. And again, as you lower the leg, really, I want your awareness to be in the lowest part of the core that we've already turned on, those big three muscles I named off, right? And try not to let the low back bow up off of the floor. Try not to let the pelvis move at all, the best of your ability. Low ribs are on the ground. And settle into stillness for about 2 or 3 breaths. And then we're going to grab the backs of the knees. And when you rock up, try to balance. Try not to bring your toes down. So towards a boat, we're just going to do one. You could put the block between the thighs. It's a fantastic tool, right, to help you find the lowest parts of the core. Have your feet hip distance as well. Feel free to release the arms forward. Try not to let that low back round too much. Really try to find the length of the spine, elongated spine, right? And maybe those shins come up. Maybe you straighten your legs. I've never been able to do that without changing the shape of my spine. And I work myself in flexion all the time. So I try to work neutral a lot, right? So whatever your body needs, you know your body better than I do. Go ahead and bring those feetsies down. Remove the block if you were working with it. Come into downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal the legs, bending one knee, right, straightening the other, any of that kind of stuff that just gets you into that beautiful back of your body, swaying hips, etc. And then, at some point in time, come back to the center. Feel free to have the knees a little bent. And you might not be doing these classes regularly, but a lot of my Patreon friends are. So, find that upper back work. Rotate your outer upper arms in towards the face. Shoulder blades kind of wrap around the sides of the ribs, but they move towards the buttocks, long neck and upper back. Maybe the legs straighten a little bit, maybe they don't, and we invite a little more of the hamstring and calf line. And reach your buttocks bones up and back. That's going to be really important for today's class. Come on down to a child's pose. Rest for a moment. Breathe. Come on up to your hands and knees. You're probably going to want a blanket under your knees for this particular lunge setup that we're doing. So that's why we have the blanket around. And I know I said 1 block, but 2 blocks. Sorry, I should have said 2 blocks. If you have 2, it's incredibly useful. So come onto the blanket with your knees, step the right foot forward and have it pretty close to the end of the mat. Hopefully that'll make sense in a second. We don't want the foot to get too stuck on your sticky mat, right? So have your left hip over your left knee. Go ahead and lengthen your spinal column and then flex your right foot and reach your right heel out in front of you. Flex the foot, pull the pinky toe edge back. And right here is the rounded spine again, right? So that's what I've been harping about. So can you pull that low back in, like you're moving towards cow, but you won't get there, right? Buttocks, bones, back and down, right? Heel forward. And here we are in Ardha Hamunasana, half splits. Breathing here, take another inhale. Now, if you're like struggling or it feels really painful, you wouldn't do this next part, right? But maybe you move those blocks forward. Now, if we do start to move that right foot forward, I want to point out, don't split the hips open like they want to. For today, try to keep the hips parallel, right? So the left hip forward, right hip back, 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 and go just until you can right before your hips want to split. Now move your shoulder blades down the back and reach your chest forward and look a little forward. If you want, last piece, I curl my left toes under and I lift my left leg, still trying to move my left hip forward, right hip back. So I try to keep my frontal hip points forward towards the front edge of my mat the way I'm looking. Take a breath wherever you're working from. Bring that left knee down. Slide really slowly and gently that right foot back, right foot down. You could always put a blanket under your foot as well to slide it, depending on the surface of your floor. But chances are great, it's kind of hard to slide on the sticky mat. So I wouldn't be on the sticky mat. So sorry. Step the left foot forward, right? And for here, move your right hip over your right knee, flex your left foot. And again, if you can have it a little off your mat, that's probably a helpful tool. So find the action of the adductors, pelvic floor, low belly. Try to find that low back moving into its natural curve. We've already worked that a couple of times, right? And if you do start to go forward, don't do it quite yet. Let the hamstring get used to this, right? Move the right hip forward, left hip back, right hip forward, left hip back, right? Now walk your blocks a little forward and then start to slide your left foot a little forward. The whole way you go, your mantra is right hip forward, left hip back, right hip forward, left hip back, right foot forward, left foot back until you're like, yeah, right about there is where my hips want to split. My right hip wants to go back so bad. Shoulder blades down the back, lengthen the spine. Maybe hanging out here, pull your frontal hip points up towards your chest. Maybe you curl your right toes under and you lift the right leg into splits. And again, I just want you to notice where you are in space. We usually get a little wider with this version than when we're laying on our back because gravity is working with us, right? The weight of our body is moving us into the splits. Bring that right knee down and slide back slowly. Release that left foot back. You can do a downward dog for a couple of breaths, or you can go right into child's pose. We'll all meet in child's pose in just a moment. Inhale. When you exhale, come down to child's pose, not long, but let's take a breath or two there. Okay. Go ahead and just walk your hands by your knees, curl your toes under, and start to stand up. And by the way, if you're someone who ever has, extra time, you could always do, a number of sun salutations, then come into this practice. Move the blanket. Come to the top of your mat, and then we're just going to go right into it because, again, it's a shorter version. If you want that hour-long version, remember all of my Patreon subscribers have access to the full series. So from the top of your mat, Patreon /CJoyYoga if you're unfamiliar. You're going to go ahead and you're going to bring actually watch me for just a second. I'm going to do it quickly, probably won't have great form, but at least so you get the idea of it. We'll come down. The weight is fully in my feet, but I do get to rest my hands, right? Shoulder blades down the back, longest spine because it gets harder from here. And this is what I call kickstand. You're going to reach the left foot back, but leave the toes on the earth for a second. We're going to put our right thumb in our hip crease, hip it, hold it back as we lift the left leg, hand back down, maybe straighten right leg, moving that hip back the whole time. Now, I am imagining myself being a piece of rebar, unbendable rebar, right? Long pull from left heel through crown of head. And if I do go further into the splits, it's not that I'm just lifting my foot, right? I'm reaching my chest forward and I have the fulcrum of my right leg and my body starts to shift chest down, heel up, right? I might move my blocks or bring my blocks to a lower setting. I might reach one hand back, right hand to right ankle, and I might reach the left back too, but I'm a great example. My whole body turns and I start to really tweak my knee and my hip in a not great way. So I usually just do one hand and I keep my other hand on the ground balancing me. We'll step down and we'll look at side two. You ready? Tadasana. Bend your knees, hands on the blocks, weight fully in feet. Bend your knees and reach your chest forward. We practice this move a lot for things like this exactly, right? Now kickstand your left foot back, and before you lift the weight of that bugger, right, put your right thumb in your hip crease, move your right hip in and back, chest forward, get as long as you can, left heel back, chest forward, and then maybe the foot lifts. Now keep the length of the spine. It's a piece of rebar now, connected, crown of head through left heel. Straighten right leg, hip in and back, right hip, that's glute work. And then from there, you might just stay right here in this warrior three. If you're going to standing splits, reach the chest forward and down, and as you do that, the left heel is going to kick up. Try to keep the left hip point facing down. Don't let that hip roll open or split open today, right? Maybe you look back, maybe right hand reaches back for right foot. Maybe left does as well. Again, if you start to turn, that's not awesome on the knee and the hip, so maybe you keep the hand down. And then hands on blocks, come halfway up. Step left foot next to right foot. We're going to go directly into the other side. Bend your knees, lengthen spine, right? Kickstand right foot. Before you lift that bugger, get as long as you can. Turn all of your core on, inner groin, pelvic floor, all the things, right? Left hand and hip crease, thumb. Keep that hip in and back with the help of the hand and lift the foot to hip height. Straighten left leg or don't. Hand back down. Now you might just stay here in this warrior three. Otherwise, right toes down, inner groin up. As my chest reaches forward and down, that's going to lift my right foot up because I'm a big piece of rebar. Maybe left hand on the left ankle, maybe not. Maybe right hand also comes in, maybe not. Soft neck. And you're looking back. If you're looking back, you can see, right? Make sure your right toes are pointing down, your inner groin is pointing up, reaching up. And then hands on block, step that right foot down. Walk your feet as wide as your mat, turn the toes out, and squat down. Arms in between the legs. Let's take a breath here, lengthening the spine. Core challenge. You could bring your hands back to drop down. You might reach your hands forward and then try to pull your belly back into cat and try not to roll all the way onto your back as you set down and back. You almost go towards like a boat pose. We're almost there, friends. I'm going to give myself height under my buttocks for this. A quick drink so I don't have so many throat issues in your face here, in your ear. Right shin in front of left. Sukhasana for glutes. Now inhale, height, and then exhale, starting to fold forward. Pause and soften down and in for just a moment, keeping the buttocks bones rooted. You can stay there. Inhale. You might come up and you might go towards double pigeons. Now, I want to point out it's not just bringing that shin up and in. Try to cross your ankles even a little further in their respective directions, crossing right ankle on left knee, right? So I'm actually quite far in and quite into that cross, best you can on your body you have. And as long as don't have knee joint pain, it's okay if the knee is high, and you might start to fold a little forward and breathe into that experience. Just do Sukhasana if you're like, no way. Coming up, releasing that foot down, left shin in front of right, get tall. And again, even here, my heels are crossing over, right? My ankles are on my knees-ish, not an exact science. Get tall. I'm definitely not in crisscross applesauce. Exhale, fold forward. You won't get your glutes very much at all if you're in crisscross applesauce, right? Take a breath from here. You might soften and stay here, or you might come on up and cross the left ankle over the right knee. Get tall, right? If you're in knee joint pain, get out. And then maybe folding over. Breathing. How's this experience compared to, not compared, sorry, contrasted. Don't compare. Comparison brings judgment. Come back up. If you can compare without judgment, good on you. Most of us can't, right? And then just come into a comfortable seated cross-legged or a kneeling position. Pause for a few moments. If you have time and you want to lay down in Shavasana, please do. And you can just stay there for a few minutes. I encourage that. Give the body time to integrate it all. Otherwise, from this place, wherever you are, long spine, taking just a couple of moments to tune into the body. And again, tune into the senses and all the information coming into you from those senses. Non judgmental experiencing. Best we can. We practice, we keep practicing, and we become stronger. Namaste, friends. Happy Standing Splits Day. Hopefully, your hamstrings feel more open than when you started. And hopefully, you've got some stability in your pelvis. May you have a day filled with wonder.